name is Beth Santos. I'm founder and CEO of an international women's travel community called Wanderlust. And we started as a blog in 2009. You know, I was 23 years old, kind of moving around the country, around the world, just discovering travel on my own. And I started to write about it. And back in 2009, travel blogging was a whole other world. It was like online journaling. We were, writing about who we were dating. I mean, it was not journalism, which it is today. But there was something there, and I built an online magazine. I had other women sharing their stories because at the end of the day, women were traveling so much, especially on their own, but we're really made to believe that we weren't. So many people ask me, oh, are you going to be safe? Are you sure you want to do this? And that really affected me. I was thinking a lot about how so many women we're dominating the travel industry, but we're made to believe that we're the small segment of it. And so our blog turned into in-person events, and we saw the magic of just bringing women travelers together, connecting them with each other, giving them resources to each other. And then we also realized the value of the online content world that we were creating. So now we have a huge community of travel content creators. That's really, secondary, if not primary now, to what we do.
Wow.
Is bringing these content creators together and giving them a space to meet one another, to build their business as small business owners. We run a conference for travel content creators called WITS that we do every year in a different city every year. We run marketing campaigns for destinations and other businesses that want to show their places through the eyes of a diverse group of women. And our whole mission really is just changing that face of travel, showing a travel that is much more representative of not only the local community, but a really big variety of travelers, and really bringing women to the forefront of that.
That's amazing. So you guys are essentially a media brand with a community underpinning.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. Yeah.
I'm good at that kind of stuff.
Well, let me give you your 10-second pitch right here. This is what it is.
With a female focus.
It is. I mean, I love the media side, and we still do a lot of consumer stuff. We'll share stories of, how to travel alone, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But it's been really neat, really moving into this creator space, and not just helping them with the content because they know how to do that, but also really allowing them to step into that place of a business owner and talking about, okay, let's really look at how your content is affecting how travel marketing is changing, and how you can work with a lot of these businesses to really maximize both sides. Because sometimes that language isn't really spoken.
No, you're right. And the other thing is, so many, the statistic now is 67% of Gen Z and Gen Alpha want to be a content creator.
Yeah.
There are lots and lots of content creators, but the reality is that most of them are still not full-time, or when they become a full-time content creator, most of them live below the poverty line, honestly.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the travel space, which is even more intense because your product is expensive as a content creator and time consuming. Yeah, and you're not sitting in a studio unboxing cameras that people are sending you in the mail. Like, you literally have to travel constantly. Yeah. I'm a little bit steeped in this because I represent Mega America with 15 million followers, who's a travel influencer, but I literally just signed him. I couldn't believe he wasn't already signed. And I asked him, I'm like, how are you making money? He's like, pretty much only from the Instagram payouts. I was like, wow.
It's amazing. I was just talking a few days ago to somebody with, every time they post something, it's like 1 million views. And they slid their card to me and said, can we talk about business sometime? I just love to know, how to build a business. And I was like, what do you mean how to build a business? Over 1 million, every time you post something, 1 million people look at it. Like that.
Isn't that wild?
But it's not. That connection is not made for a lot of people, and there are a lot of influencers who have huge audiences and just have not been able to monetize and haven't been able to speak that language very well. And so that's where we're coming in to kind of to help support them, but also to advocate on behalf of them and talk to, a lot of brands, unfortunately, have been burned by people who didn't really know how to do it right.
Yep.
And so now they're like, oh, we'll never work with influencers. And we're saying, look, honestly, that can be your best ROI. You just have to know how to do it like any other kind of marketing channel.
Yeah. So. Any marketing channel needs testing, learning, iteration.
Yeah. Totally.
100%. Yeah, I always say influencer marketing is a four-legged stool. It is 1, the creator, 2, the creative, 3, the target audience, and 4, how's the algorithm going to treat you on the day you decide to post.
There you go. So. It's true. Yeah. And there are elements that are beyond our control. And I think that's another reason why I tell creators too, you got to build a business that's just, don't rely on that one platform.
100%.
You have to get an email list, have your website, make sure that you're capturing the audience that you have, because that should be your audience. Claim that space, that is yours. And so, but no, it's very, very important and underestimated.
Yeah. What do you think is the number one direct-to-consumer business that travel influencers should be building outside of their advertising and brand partnerships business? Is it travel tours? Is it guided tours? Is it digital travel books? What do you think is the first beachhead they should attack to build that sustainability outside of being dependent on the algorithms and ad revenue?
So I think the answer, I don't mean it to be a cop-out, but I think the answer is
fair.
very different for who you are. And I would rather not say, hey, everybody do this, and I'd rather say, what are you good at? We have a lot of people who apply for jobs at Wanderful, and they say, I'm applying because I love travel. And I'm like, I get it. We all love travel. You love travel. You're a creator. You love travel. What are you good at?
Sure.
Are you good at logistics? Then yes, you should do trips. Are you good at writing? Okay, maybe you're publishing an ebook or content. Are you good at teaching content course? So I think there's a lot of different things.
Skill
for us,
based.
Actually, what has been the best thing is building our membership community. So we had Facebook groups for a long time. We did our events for a long time. Then COVID happened, and of course our event stopped. And we had just launched an online membership community. And the day that everything shut down in the U.S., our engagement just skyrocketed. And we realized all of these people who just missed travel. And it has given us a very sustainable revenue model. It's allowed us to make financial projections because we know how much is coming in, because as a creator too, your cash flow is very lumpy. You don't know, maybe I'm going to get a deal this month, maybe I'm not going to have anything and I'm going to be living out of my van and just eating ramen. You don't know. And so I think finding ways that you can, in anything that you do, if you do have a course, make sure that you have a distribution model so that you can make projections of how much you're going to make based on what you made last month that are reliable and realistic for you, so that you can build a business from this. Otherwise, just going gig to gig and not having a plan is very hard to make.
Very smart advice. So you and I are both Arival rookies, first time here in San Diego. We are
not
officially.
Anymore. We're
I know we're done. We've got our pin to put on our coats.
Right.
So we're officially done. What's your number one takeaway?
Every time I go to one of these conferences, and I've been to a lot of, travel and tourism industry things, but this year I was very intentional. I said, I want to go to some new things I've never been to before. And it still surprises me. I mean, travel is a huge industry. And I always think, okay, we've got to have hit max capacity by now, and to come to an event like this, you need so many small business owners that are just starting out or have a good idea or are just entering growth mode. And to see that is very fascinating and exciting for me, to think about how travel is constantly evolving, how these businesses are constantly growing, and how there's still so much more. And I've really loved that. I've loved getting to know a lot of the people that are curating travel. And I don't think we give a lot of attention to that travel is not just a straight experience that anyone has. It always comes through the filter of somebody else.
Yep.
Whether it's the tour guide that you're with or the hotel that you're visiting or the marketing campaign that you read or whatever. And so making sure that we're really diversifying that filter and having the people who are introducing you to their places be as diverse and as representative of the place itself, I think is really important, and this is a place that can do that.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I got exposed to your brand originally through a panel that you did earlier today around sustainable travel, and that's probably not even the right terminology. It's around how do you travel and do good for the communities in which you're traveling. Do you want to maybe hit on just a piece of that and how you're partnering in that space to be more impactful and help travelers make better decisions that they can be proud of while they travel through indigenous cultures and environments?
Totally. So the panel was called Meaningful Travel, which is a whole umbrella term for so many things. It's, connecting really impactfully with the place that you're visiting. And you can do that in a lot of ways. Thinking about a place as a function of many things: the people who live there, the history of the place, the environment of that place, and making sure that when you're traveling somewhere that you're understanding yourself as a tourist, as a traveler, as somebody who's not from there, and really embracing the culture that is authentic to what that place is. And so thinking about the environmental impact that you're going to have when you go, and also the choices that you make that either improve that or not. I always like to think about being a traveler as casting votes in the travel industry that you want. If I go and buy toothpaste, I'm probably spending $10 in toothpaste every 6 months. When I go on a trip, I'm spending thousands of dollars. So I'm an angel investor. Yep. I'm essentially an angel investor in the travel industry.
I never thought about it that way.
Oh, that's absolutely. Yeah. So you think about
especially
it like
when
that.
you go to a country where every dollar really is impactful
Yeah.
that you put into those communities.
Yeah. So thinking about that is, okay, what do I want to invest in? Where do I want to put my dollars? And I understand that's hard. You know, we don't always have all the information to be able to make those choices. But if you can at least come at it with that intention of, I want to understand this place for what it really is, and I want to be as beneficial. I want my presence to help this community rather than, you know, it's taken away and, you know, some other company somewhere else is benefiting from it. Like, how can I impact this community, the businesses here, the initiatives that are happening here, the things that I feel really passionately about? That's traveling impactfully, and everybody can do that, even if it's just a little bit at a time.
I love it. Such a cool takeaway. All right, so Beth, where can people learn more about Wanderful? How can they get involved? And more importantly, how can people connect with you professionally if they want to reach out and start a conversation?
Yeah, so sheswanderful.com. That's wonderful with an A. That's our website. We've got our social media there. If you are a creator, you should definitely come to WITS. It's at WIT Summit and witsummit.com. We also, just a few days ago...
Where is it? This year?
It's in downtown Manhattan next May.
Very fun.
Yeah, we're very excited. It's our first time in New York City.
Love it.
And we just a few days ago launched the first interactive map of women-owned businesses that you can find and visit all around the world. So if you're somebody like me who wants to go to all the women-owned restaurants and cafes and the hotels, you go to womenownedmap.com. It's also on Instagram at womenownedmap. That's women singular. And for me, I'm at MaximumBeth, and you can find me on Instagram. It's really easy. I think it's like Instagram.com/Beth Santos, but I'm sorry, LinkedIn, LinkedIn.com/Beth Santos.
Got it.
And Instagram is Maximum Beth. So yeah, I'm always looking forward to chatting more and following my journey. And
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and safe travels back to wherever you're heading home to.
Thank you.
Okay, see you soon.